finished Leicester City 0, Liverpool 1. Brilliant goal scored by Trent Alexander-Arnold for Liverpool with about 15 minutes to go of the 90. Vinny, he doesn't score many, and certainly doesn't score many with his left boot either, but what a cracker that was.
Yeah, no, it was a brilliant moment for him, and I think in the week where, touched on in commentary, where Harry Maguire comes up with a huge moment for Manchester United and now Trent, in terms of setting up the chance to win the league next week at home, and ultimately I think they're going to win the league whether they won or drew today, but it feels like a big moment for him personally and just puts the noise away. It was Liverpool, I think it was at that stage around the 14th corner of the game, and it didn't feel like it was going to come from a corner, but in the second phase, as you said, Trent gets his leg over, and it's a wonderful finish. Like, we all know he has that quality, but the outpouring emotion from he rent to the Liverpool fans, and the Liverpool away fans were so passionate towards him as well, that there was no animosity that we hear about online and people being annoyed with him and different bits and pieces. So there was a real love there, a real connection between him and that set of supporters. I think that's great. It's great for him. No matter what happens in the next couple of months, he grew up in this club as a baby. He is a Scouser. His team are about to win another league title, and he's played a huge part in it. And there's times where Liverpool fans would like him to play a little bit better here and there, or maybe could have conducted his business a little bit differently in their view. But you know what? To hell with all of that. He's still a Liverpool player. He's born true and true. And if he does leave at the end of the season, his legacy is there for all to see. And he may not go down with the Dalglishes or the Gerrards or any of them players. Most fullbacks don't anyway. But his contribution to Liverpool after the last number of years, particularly under Jurgen Klopp, has been sensational. So I was so thrilled for him to get that moment to win a big game for Liverpool on the way to winning the league title.
Yeah, it was interesting to see the away supporters go absolutely wild. And, you know, you could see the love and the respect that they have for him in those celebrations. And I mentioned during commentary, like, he has been criticised a lot, but I've found that a lot of that criticism, as you mentioned there, it's online stuff, it's social media. That's not really a proper gauge of the feelings Liverpool supporters have for Trent Alexander-Arnold. And, you know, whether he goes or not, and you could see maybe why Liverpool supporters would be disappointed that he goes in a free to a big European rival like Real Madrid. Did you feel the celebration, was that just an outpouring of emotion because of some of that abuse? Or was there even, am I reading too much into it, that there was a little clue there that maybe he will sign a contract extension?
I don't know. You never say never. I mean, ultimately, we don't know what's going on inside of his brain or his family. I think his brothers advise him as part of his sort of makeup of his agents and different things. But, like, there's no doubt that, when there's that much noise around Madrid and you read reports that the deal is almost done, it feels like it's inevitable he ends up at Madrid. He certainly looks like a Madrid type of player in the sense of, he might be the best defender in the world, but when you see the moments of class he has today, he can go and do that. So, look, if he ends up being a Galactico, that's fine. I think it should be fine by most Liverpool fans. Yes, I know, like, Jamie Carragher would make the argument they feel he should have got a fee for him, he signs a deal, but ultimately clubs look after themselves. If he wasn't good enough, he'd be out the door, and ultimately he's got to do what's right by him. So I don't know.
Here's another thing, Vinny. Real Madrid showed in the two legs against Arsenal, and Arsenal, as we know, they're a very good side, but they're not a great side, and they made Real Madrid look really poor over the two legs in the Champions League. You look at that Real Madrid team, well, it looks all but certain that Ancelotti's on the way out. There's talks linking both Xabi Alonso and Jurgen Klopp with the position there. But look at the team, like Modric, he's gone, he's finished. They don't have a great selection of defenders there. They have the best goalkeeper in the world, fair enough, Thibaut Courtois, but they're really lacking at the back. In midfield, you'd have to wonder who's the player that's going to replace Luka Modric when he goes. They don't have that kind of a midfielder in there, or even a Toni Kroos. Then you look in the attack, they've got issues with, they've got three left-sided attacking midfielders who all want that starting place.
Steve-O,
if you're
Madrid
Trent
have
Alexander-Arnold,
problems, though.
but if you're looking at that team, Alexander-Arnold, you're thinking, well, they're not going to win the league, probably in Spain. They're not winning the Champions League. You're with a league-winning team, the Premier League winning team. Why leave that when they could go on a rebuild in the summer and Slot gets in maybe 3 or 4 really good players, like maybe he's starting to have second thoughts with all of that in mind.
Yeah, no, I get that, and in many ways I hope you're right in one sense, because I mean, particularly here in Ireland, we love the Premiership. It is probably the best league in the world at the moment, and I mean, Trent Alexander is part of that, and the magic he comes up with. I think Madrid have first world problems. I think someone like Rudiger is still an exceptional centre half. They do need to have a little bit more strength and depth in the back four, and we know Modric's coming to an end. But Madrid are part of a rebuild, and every 3 or 4 years they do rebuild their team. And as I said, it's first world problems. You're talking about Mbappe, you're talking about Vinicius, you're talking about Jude Bellingham here. They're not, they're not stuck for players, and they can go and spend a little bit more money if they need to bring in a couple of more quality. I'd love Trent to stay at Liverpool from a Liverpool point of view, but as I said, I mean, he's poured his heart and soul into that club since he's a young boy, and he's won it looks like he's about to win 2 league titles with them. He's won a European Cup with them. He's won FA Cups with them. He's come through the academies, cost them nothing, and he probably owes them nothing. So, look, playing a little bit devil's advocate there as well, but Trent owes Liverpool nothing. I understand fans should and will be annoyed, but his legacy's there for all to see. As I said, he won't go down with the greats of Dalglish and Gerrard, but most fullbacks ultimately don't. But look, he owes them nothing, and maybe there will be a change of mind, but you often find that at that level, a lot of these deals are very close to being done already. It would be a wrong time to announce it. So it'd be interesting. It's watch this space. None of us will know what's inside his head. But I tell you what, I think he'll deservedly start the game next week at right back. And if it is the game that wins the league title, imagine the special feeling he'll get from Anfield. And you're right, that if he was in any way 50-50, I mean, Liverpool should slide a little contract across his boot bag next week after he lifts the league title, because Anfield is going to be rocking next week.
It sure will. Would you call it a bad performance by Liverpool today, or did they just come up against a team that were so desperate to hang on to a clean sheet that they just found it hard to break that down?
I think it's one of them where we live in this world where we react to different situations. We look at Liverpool. Ultimately, if they hadn't got that goal, people would have been critical of them. Their form hasn't been brilliant today, but they've had like 14, 15 corners. They've had something like 20 odd shots on target. Yeah. The Leicester keeper was really good. Leicester without the ball was an excellent performance in terms of discipline and in terms of structure. They had a 4-4-2 shape, and it was camped outside the box. Wasn't a lot of space. Salah showed some unbelievable moments of brilliance, but they were assisting other players because of the way Leicester set up. Liverpool hit the post after 2 minutes when Salah hit both posts actually from the shot. So look, Liverpool were very good at times against a team who didn't come out to play in any way, shape or form. Leicester had the odd moment here and there, but Jamie Vardy didn't do anything. Van Dijk and Konate could have played in the slippers today, bar Daka's one moment where he got in behind them. That aside, they were very comfortable. So I would say it's a good performance from Liverpool. I'd say they've done the job. It's one of them league winning performances. I'd say McAllister was exceptional for them. Was Slobosai at his best? No, but again, as I said, there's 2 banks of 4 right in front of them. So I thought Liverpool done what they had to do today, and Slot will be very, very happy with his performance. People will get a view of the likes of Keane, characters, comments out of the game. I'm not sure what they'll come out with, and that will create a narrative around itself. And there's a lot of noise, you said, around social media. But for league-winning teams, it's all about getting the job done. They've got the job done, and they move on to that special moment they'll get in Anfield next week.
Will they beat Tottenham next week?
I think they will. I think they're in good form, and I think the emotion of Anfield. I was lucky enough at a different level to win a league title in my home ground. It is. They're nearly. I'd be sure of this, that Liverpool are glad Arsenal won today, and they can take it to Anfield. A lot of the fans will think that way, and it would probably be better to do it against Arsenal next week, or do it against a big team. That would be the sort of icing on the cake. But to do it against Tottenham, I mean, it feels like maybe it's just my memory, but Tottenham seem to be on the receiving end, a few of them where the other team wins the league when they're around. So I think it's set up perfectly for Liverpool to go and win it next week. I think they're in really good sort of form. They'll come into good form after this week, and they haven't lost a lot of games in Anfield, as we all know. I expect them to win next week and lift the title, and as I said, Nathan and Kerza can have a glass of champagne and celebrate that victory next week live on radio.
Although Brian, being a Tottenham fan, I'm not sure how much he'll enjoy watching that, but I'll tell you one thing, Anfield will be on Wales next week. Just to finish briefly on Leicester City, Vinny, is it a bit depressing for English football, the fact that 3 teams go up and the same 3 teams go back down again?
I think there's a mixture of things going on there. I think Leicester made a mistake in the appointment of Van Nistelrooy. I think they should have tried something. It was a little bit experimental. I think when he did take over, they weren't that far off Wolves, and ultimately Wolves made a good appointment and they've moved on, and that swings and roundabouts. I think Ipswich and Southampton going down was probably to be expected. I think Leicester could have invested a little bit more. I think they've a squad who could do better. I think they've got some decent players, but ultimately Leicester haven't created enough goal scoring chances throughout the season. Vardy is a shadow of himself. Daka is okay, but they don't have the firepower needed. And as you look at the game today, they didn't do enough in the forward area, albeit against a dominant Liverpool team. But they've got some decent players in the team. Indeed, he's done really well today. They've a couple of other examples of it. But ultimately, I think Leicester's lack of firepower has cost them. And I think if they had the time again from a recruitment point of view, they probably should have replaced Vardy. Have him, around your club, that's fine. But having an outstanding striker, I know everybody's searching for them, but they needed a bit more firepower, and ultimately that's what's cost them.
And in case people didn't see the aftermath of the game, something I know you remarked on first, but you weren't quite happy. I found a little bit jarring as well. Just Ruud van Nistelrooy's general demeanour. He didn't look like a man who just taken a team into relegation.
Hurt me, and I don't normally comment on stuff like that in terms of, it feels almost like a little cheap shot towards Van Nistelrooy, but he's laughing and joking with Slot. He's hugging him. His team has just been relegated. That has to hurt your club, hurt your whole community of Leicester. There will be jobs affected by this. I know the parachute payment is there. The fans have gone home being relegated out of the Premiership. Like, it wasn't that long ago they were winning league titles. Down to tea ladies, down to kitman. You might have 4 kitman reduced to 3 throughout the club, all of that stuff. And the knock-on effect of going out the biggest league in the world is financial hit your club takes. And Van Nistelrooy had a bit of a love-in with Liverpool players. He was laughing, he was joking. That didn't sit well with me. It wasn't a good look. Showed again a little bit of lack of understanding and a little bit lack of judgment from him as the manager of that club. And it was a poor look for me to see that. And I expected a little bit more of him. He should have been hurting badly with that result today. I think they were going down despite today's result anyway, but I expected more of him, and I was disappointed in that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you'll hear more, I'm sure, from Ruud van Nistelrooy and Arne Slot during the week, and reviews from that game on Off the Ball Breakfast, 7:30 every morning. But that's it from me and Vinny. Thank you.